with the T with your girl Tracy from Detroit. And if it's anybody from Detroit, what up, though? All right, y'all. So I want to talk about I'm gonna try not to be too heavy, all right? Because addictions is a powerful topic, okay? So I just want to kind of touch on it based on my experience, okay? Something enlightening that I am experiencing. So the caption is, are we all addicted? Okay. It's a problem. It really is because just the use of technology, you know, the algorithm and things like that, and whether we know it or whether we realize it or not, we may have an addiction, okay? And I'm just telling you from my experience. You know how sometimes you'll be scrolling and scrolling, and it may be 3 o'clock, and you look up, it's 6 or 9 or 11 o'clock. That means from 3 to 11, you've been scrolling on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or whatever. So I'm like, wow, and I said, America, this is just my opinion, America is profiting from our addictions, okay? When you go to the doctor, they're trying to prescribe you something. You know what I'm saying? Always asking you, are you depressed? Do you want some medication? I'm like, dang it. I'm like, wow. It's like they can't wait. A lot of people have started their addictions because of just something small, like pain, right? And that's what medication is made for. It's made for pain, right? That's what it is, for, right? Because, we don't have to be in pain. So we have things in the earth that can keep us out of pain, right? But a lot of, we see America is, taking that, the things that we use in pain, and we're using it for recreational, use. And before you know it, we are addicted, right? So I'm saying not just addicted to substance abuse, although it's ironic that marijuana is legal, right? You find a lot of people have been incarcerated because they have sold marijuana, and now you can get it from a, dispensary. So it's like, wow, dispensary, right? And even in Michigan, they got dispensaries on, just like you would, a store. They got dispensaries on in Detroit. Oh my God, it's not hard. You can look and see a dispensary, and it's like, wow, the thing that they were trying to get off the streets now is the pharmaceutical companies have tapped in to the drug arena. So now it's illegal. I'm like, make sense. And we don't realize it because a lot of times when you have something that's so accessible, it's easy to get addicted to it. Okay? So that's my opinion. What do you think? I think America is profiting from our addictions. Right? I mean, you can scroll on something, and if you look at it too long, the algorithm is gonna send you 30 videos that you see some shoes you like, it's gonna send you something. You try to fix something, they gonna send you something that you can get for $9.99. All these videos, the algorithm, whatever you like, whatever you think you like, you don't notice it, but you're telling the algorithm, I want to purchase that. And it's like, wow, they got us. They got us. I'm just saying, and I'm just saying, it's just not with substance abuse shopping. Story time, y'all. So I was just noticing how much I was spending every minute. I'm buying something. I'm buying something from Temu. I'm buying something from Shein. I'm seeing a cute pair of shoes. And I'm like looking at my bank account, because once you put your information in there, you can get as many things as you want to, because, the computer is going to remember that. So I'm like, wow. And I'm asking myself, I'm like, am I addicted to shopping? And so I told myself, this is story time, this confession, right? So when we say confession, I got this from my friend. When we say confession, that means you can't judge me. I can't judge you, right? Confession. So I said I wasn't going to shop, right? Do you know how many things I bought since I said that? I put it in the atmosphere that I wasn't going to shop for 30 days, right? Here come me scrolling on social media. Oh, that's good. Oh, I need that, right? Then you get it and find out it's some crap. It's not what they said it was. I'm telling you, they are getting us. And 9 times out of 10, it's something that you don't, it's a want, it's not a need, right? And I'm like, billions of dollars that they are profiting, because they have made things so accessible to us, from marijuana, from prescription drugs, from shopping. They have made, and that's the issue, they have made so many things accessible to us. Before you know it, we have addictions. I seen this clip, right? So it was this kid, this baby, the baby had to been no more than 1. That child, the mother took away the tablet from the child. Do you know that child had a full-blown tantrum? Full-blown tantrum. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and so we can pass judgment on that child, but a lot of us have, allowed these kids to, tablets to entertain them. And just like us, we scrolling and we purchasing things. It's just a rabbit hole. And I thought about it. I was like, because I'm looking at my bank statement. I'm like, here's a purchase here. I'm like, what type of mind frame was I in? Scrolling at night on some scrolling, just scrolling on social media. You see all these commercials, and before you know it, you done ordered. I'm getting all these packages, right? And I'm like, man, this may be a problem. I'm saying this to myself. This may be a problem. So I said, you know what? I'm going to stop this, right? Me thinking I'm bad, right? I said, I'm going to stop this, so I'm not going to purchase something. I said it, put it into the atmosphere. Do you know the stuff that I bought when I said that? I was like, maybe I got a problem. And then people might say, oh, it's lighthearted, women always, but no, because before you know it, you done spent $500, $600, $700 on things that you really don't need, and then you trying to shove all these things in your closet. It's like a rabbit hole. So I'm like, okay, God, how do I, deal with this? And it's like, I'm kind of embarrassed, because there's so many things that I could be spending my money on besides things that I really don't need. It's a want. It's not a need, it's a want. Bills is a need. I got to keep the lights on is a need. I got to keep gas in my car. But all these frivolous things. So when we're scrolling on social media, we see all these things that catch our eye. And if we stop at that one video, the algorithm will send, it's probably a ratio. Before we know, hey, Anthony, you said you sell it on eBay. Anthony, why you always got something, something to say? No, you take it back. Because I'm like, no, the algorithm is not making a fool out of me. And I'm embarrassed to say, but I'm like, I gotta work on this, y'all. You know, we talk about people with addicted to substance abuse. You can overindulge in anything. I might do that. I got a friend, she she thrift. She found all these things that we like, name brands, and she sell it on her profile. And she make a killing. Why? Because we like to shop. You said, I always I always try to have solutions. Yeah, I know you do. Anthony, this is a problem. I don't want to be an addict. You know what I'm saying? And then I see something that I want, and I say to myself, self, you don't need that. And myself said, yes, you do need it. And then I start sweating profusely. I said, what has come over me? I mean, y'all, I'm being for real. I'm not, this is not a laughing matter, but I'm like, dude, I don't have no self-control. You know what I'm saying? So that's how things can become, I see how people like go to the casino. Oh my God, you talk about a rabbit hole. And I done seen people lose houses being at the casino. I said, I can't afford to play these slots. I can't do it. Because before you know it, I'm trying to win my money back. Because I guess look, bad luck. I'm going with my sisters. We're going to have fellowship. And, I said, I can't hang with them. My money is not that long. I said, oh, my God. But Spirit, you said, okay, if eBay don't work, throw it out the window. I did. I bagged up some stuff because I didn't have room in my closet, so I had to get rid of my old stuff so I can get some new stuff. I said, oh my God, I sound like that scripture in the Bible where the man said, I have got all these things, so let me tear down my old barns and so I can and make some new ones. And then the Lord said, thou fool, thy soul is required tonight. And whose will those things be? I said, oh my God. I said, the Holy Spirit don't play. It will remind you of the scriptures. I said, so guess what I did? That's what I did. I bagged up some things, but it was hard for me to part with these clothes. It was hard for me because I said that match with that, and I can wear that, and this is fall. Women got clothes for every season. You have spring, then you have summer, then you have fall, then you have winter. It's not all together. You can't wear winter stuff so that's what I have. But I said, wait a minute, if a match drop, I'm in trouble. I said, you know what? I had to watch an episode of Hoarders. Because I'm telling you, it's easy. It's easy to accumulate things. And then, when things start getting behind you. I'm scared because if a spider come, I won't be able to see it. So that's why I started, out of fear, I started bagging stuff up. But for real, on the serious side, I told God, I said, wait a minute, I can't let this get before me, because you know what I'm saying, I'm trying to save so I can do some really fun things. Like, I'm supposed to be going on a cruise. These clothes is crazy, ordering all these things. But that's how addiction start. It start, recreational, sociable. You may go to a wedding and you may get some, but just on GP, and for y'all young people on general principle, no. So I want y'all to hold me accountable from this day forward. I'm not shopping until, I say, December. Because I have two sisters that are twins, and I get them some, but all this other stuff, I got to shut it down, because if not, I'm going to be on Skid Row. And this is not funny, but I'm serious, y'all. I need help. So, I wrote down some notes, because, it's all in fun or whatever, but addictions are serious, right? So I looked it up, because I said, Lord, do I have an addiction? Let me look up some things. I work in behavioral health. Let me take off my badge for some of y'all find out where I work. Y'all, let me tell y'all. Okay. Signs of addiction: loss of control, inability to stop or cut down even when trying. I fail, flunked. Time spent using increases over time. Preoccupation, constantly thinking about something, planning life around it. Neglecting responsibilities. Now, I haven't neglected no responsibilities yet, but I don't want to be in that category. It's one. I got 1 to 3. Skipping work, school, or important tasks. Yep, I flunked that one. Falling behind on responsibility. Y'all, withdrawal symptoms. When I don't get something, I'm like, I should have got those shoes. Those would go cute with this outfit. But I'm saying addictions is real. Like I said, you said, Anthony, you said, okay, move to a state with one season. One season like Florida. Then you only have summer clothes. You know what? I'm trying to be nice. I'm scared of the lizards, and Florida is too hot. So what's your next solution? I got a problem. I do. I got a problem, so that's not gonna work, because when I went to Florida, even though we supposed to be going for this cruise, but I'm not gonna be there. Florida got flying roaches. Now Michigan got bugs, but I don't think I can live with no flying roaches. I said, I rebuke that. How y'all do? We got bugs, but I never seen no flying roach until I went to Florida. That badge is gonna give you a sore neck. Throw it out. Badge, I gotta get in work. I gotta keep the badge. I'm telling you this, you ain't helping me. Yeah, I'm telling you, addicted to. I'm telling you, Anthony, have you been on social media, and then you like I said, it's 3 o'clock, and then you say it's 6 and 7. Where did the time go? Social media can pull you into, like I said, the little baby had a tantrum when they took that tablet from them. So I think I'm gonna have to limit my time, like scrolling or something like that. I could do other stuff. Conflict with family and friends. No. No, not yet. But if I want to borrow something for a bill, I may get cussed out by one of my sisters. Because they know where you at, shopping. I'm like, why would you say that? You treat me like I'm a crackhead. And I mean, look, addiction is addiction. Okay? Lost interest of other activities. Giving up hobbies or things you once enjoyed. Reduce motivation for anything. Lying or hiding usage. Now, when I was married, I did hide bags. I did. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute. I work. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Causing despite harm, no. And you can just think about these things, knowing it causes problems. Like the doctor may say, you can't eat this, or you can't do that, stop smoking, or something like that. We all have addictions. But like I said, America is profiting off our addictions, okay? So what do we do? How do we address these situations? And I was thinking of that. It's a saying that Socrates says. It says, what do it say? To thine own self be true. If you have a problem, you got to admit it. And I'm joking and things like that, but it's not funny. It's really not funny, because I'm like, dang, yeah, I don't have no self-control. Dang, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I put, admittance. And I put that thing, no, Shakespeare said that. And he said, to thine own self be true. It's a famous quote from Shakespeare's Hamlet. And it means it encourages individuals to live honestly and authentically, aligning their actions with their own values and beliefs. This means being honest with oneself and acting in accordance with one's true nature and principles. So it's like, am I going to let this be a problem? And I was like, wow, when I was taking care of my mother, I really didn't have a chance to do too much of anything, right? We would do a little shopping or whatever, but now I'm getting beside myself. You know what I'm saying? And I can't afford to do that because I'm single. So, I mean, something's got to, happen. And I don't want me to, be in a hole, and it's easy to do when you have an addiction. But in Philippians 4:13, it says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And a lot of times we don't want to admit when something is a problem. But when you go beyond being sociable to things and you go to dependence, like you need this, I need this pair of shoes, I need this, and you really don't need it, well, maybe it is a problem. You know what I'm saying? Well, marijuana, they say it's a recreational drug or something like that. But when you need it to function, if you don't have it, you have mood swings, and you start having withdrawals, in, it's a problem, right? Let me lock my door. That's gonna be another problem. Okay. It says, greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. And we know that God can give us the strength to beat any addiction, right? The Bible, it says, 1 John 2:15, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Any man that love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. And God put things down here for us to enjoy, but when it comes to being addicted to something, then we've overextended. we've overextended, and I've seen even in my work where addiction have, people have lost their occupation, their, weren't able to pay their bills. I seen somebody lose like houses. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't, you can, a small thing can become big, right? And I would say my shopping is, but it has gotten out of hand. So it's some things that I got to, put in place. So I just been studying and trying to find things that I can do, like self-help things before I have to go to counseling. I'm serious, y'all, because I'm like, oh no, the devil ain't gonna get me like that. But it says how to break the cycle of addiction. When you have cravings, right? When you when you have a feeling of remorse, when you really don't need it, it's a want, it's a dependency, right? So what we gotta do, eliminate triggers. So I gotta limit my time while I'm scrolling on social media, because I'm telling you, if I see something cute, I'm just gonna be like, cha-ching. You're just gonna see me a coupon. You have won 100% coupon off your next order. I said that ain't nothing but the devil, y'all. I'm telling you, that the America has got us. I'm telling you, just by things in the world where you can start from getting some type of pain medication for a dental problem and become addicted to drugs. We've seen all these stars, all these entertainers that dance for us, that sing for us, and they over exalt themselves. How do they do it? A lot of them are addicted, have addictions. And it's like, God help us, right? You said that, yes, I know what you mean. You said no, Socrates said, these socks too tight, throw them away or give them away. I'm not playing, y'all. I'm not about to let the devil get me, right? Okay. So, yeah, before you know it, it can become a problem, right? Before you know it, it can become something that get ahead of you. So that's my encouragement. I wanted to use myself because I have problems and weaknesses just like everybody else, but the Bible says you overcome, by your testimony, right? So it says substitute behavior. So instead of shopping, maybe I could work out. Because God knows I need to. I just got a gym membership. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Focus on good nutrition, okay? Be aware of what you put in your body, right? Reduce stress by practicing mindfulness. And other techniques to get in touch with your thoughts and feelings. And it's this word that I'm thinking of. When you just buy stuff without thinking. It's a word that I'm looking for, right? But it says, develop a network of supportive friends and families. And I do think that I want my channel to be a sense of support that lets you know that you can do it, that you don't have to be addicted to something, that there is help, that there is steps that you can take. It's counselors, but you gotta say, okay, I have a problem. And I think that's the beginning of it. A lot of us don't want to admit that we do have a problem. That it is becoming a problem when you doing something rather than paying your bills, whether you doing something just to substitute because you bored, right? Because and cravings. Like I said, I'm going in and out. I work in the community, so I gotta go in and out of places, right? with my clients, and before I'm seeing something that I want. So it's about self-control, and I know this is one thing that I know that's hard for me, but I try to do it. Fasting. Jesus said there's some things is not gonna go unless you fast and pray. Unless you fast and pray. If you got an addiction, have more periods of abstinence, right? If you have a sexual addiction, then you gotta, practice abstinence, right? Practice, celibacy. Y'all want to hear about my celibacy issues, right? Because I'm trying to go to heaven. There's two things that I don't want to do. I don't want to go to jail or hell. So y'all, I'm trying to be for real about this thing, right? So yeah, focusing on recoveries and eliminating things, implementing healthy things is going to help you, right? It's going to help you overcome your addictions. And I'm praying for you guys, whoever, wherever this video may reach you. If you're looking at this video, you can do it. People get they break free from addictions every day. Every day, people say, you know what, enough is enough. And I believe that God is a deliverer. He's a healer, right? And before you know it, you will be on the road to recovery like me. Because I'm telling you, I can't continue to go the path that I'm going. And, sometimes we think, oh, well, it ain't crack, it ain't weed. So what? It can still send you to the poorhouse, shopping, being a hoarder. And I was just looking, I was like, no room to put nothing in my closet. I have a walk-in closet. It's no way that it should be filled. So I started taking out stuff to give away. And that's what I do. It's these mailboxes that they have in all around the city of Metro Detroit. Things that I can't wear, things that I don't wear anymore, I give it away. But that don't give me the green light to get more stuff. I said, what's the problem? So pray for me, y'all, and I will be praying for you, for those of you. America is profiting from our addictions, right? Shopping and things like that. The algorithm will see you anything that you enjoy, whether it's pornography, whether it's any type of thing. This internet has got us all in a chokehold. It's got us all in the chokehold. So what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So this is just something lighthearted. I always try to talk about something that is going to to help us, but I wanted to use myself and my things. So y'all, I am not going to shop. Now I failed 3 times. But I'm going to keep on trying, and I'm going to, give you my update every time I come on here live, because I want y'all to be my accountability partners. I want y'all to say, have you shopped? Have you bought any clothes? Have you something? And I want to be your accountability partner as well, right? Because we want to be healthy and whole so God can use us, and so we can enjoy the fruits of our labor, right? Not worshiping here. All this stuff, it's just gonna go back to the dust anyway. Me and my sister was laughing because, same problem, right? We get it from our mother. My mother's father, what I'm saying, he was a junk collector. So I'm like, Mom, why was we going to that was what she liked to do, go to the resale shop. A lot of people, but I could go to the thrift store and instead of spending full price, at least I'm not spending that much. But I'm just saying, okay, I gotta get a hold of this. So I love y'all. Y'all be blessed. Thank you for coming in on my live. Like I said, every time that I come on here, I want to be intentional, right? Intentional about helping somebody. My prayer is to build a community of of believers, right, that have like-minded things in common, right, that wants to better their self, but believes in health and wellness, wants to build themselves self up spiritually. Dang, I'm just can't talk today, y'all. But build themselves up spiritually, right? So that's what I want to do. And like I always say, usually I get on Tuesdays, but I took off. I took off from work, so I said, let me take off and do some things that I need to do. So like I said, I bagged up some things that I needed. So I'm not going to replace them. I want to keep, giving away things that I can't wear, and I'm gonna stop right there, and I'm gonna save my money, right? I encourage you to do the same. If you have an addiction, God is able to deliver you. God is able to deliver us. We can't let these things in this world control us, right? They're here for our enjoyment. But when they start interfering with our marriage, interfering with our well-being, interfering with us not paying our bills, interfering with things where we become addicted, where we need it more than we need God, then it's a problem. Okay? It's a problem. It's a problem when we put anything before the Lord. I be on social media, and I've had some lives where we was talking about, some people have sexual addictions, but God can deliver you. You know what I'm saying? God can deliver you from anything. It's nothing too hard for the Lord. And like I said in the past, life, you don't have to suffer in silence. So, I'm not gonna hide in no corner about my issue. I'm going to let it be known, so somebody could be I could be accountable to somebody, and most of all, being accountable to God. If I tell the Lord that I want to do something, I want to hold myself accountable to that. And a lot of times we break our promises, not just to God, but ourselves. Self-control. Rate your self-control. Rate your, from 1 to 10. Rate your self-control. I would say with me, my self-control is probably a 4. It's probably, well, maybe a 5. I'll probably say a balance. But like I said, I got to get on top of these spending habits and things like that. I'm telling you, being single, I deal with lust just like everybody else. But I have to fast and pray, because I want to please God. But as sure as you do good in something, here go the enemy. He gonna throw something else. And I said, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? So now I gotta work on this. I'm dealing with this lust issue. I'm okay, staying on top of it. Trying to, keep myself for God. And here is this shopping problem. So y'all, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep moving, and that's what I encourage you to do. Be the best you can for God and for yourself, right? To thine own self be true. So I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in to Unchurched Talk with the T. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Okay? Bye.